here probably knows, you want to feel better, go take a walk. You know, if you have a fight with your spouse, go for a walk. It fixes it. It just magically fixes it. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But in order to get people to do that, to have the default that they're walking, it has to be walkable. You have to have bike trails that are safe to use, that are fun to use, that are inviting to use.
Think 10 years from now, and I want you to really think of a Lancaster that is walkable, that is friendly to pedestrians, that you see people out every day, that you see people exercising in all areas of the community, that you see people walking their pets, that you see people congregating in different places, that you see people more engaged that know their neighbors. That's what you need to vision 10 years from now.
The U.S. home buying public wants walkable communities. They may not know exactly what they are, but they know that that's what they want. They have images in their head of what they are. And so I totally celebrate the hard work you're doing. And so my mission today is working with department heads and others who are able to be here this morning, but later with your key staff, to really get across not only why this is the direction to go, but how others are doing it and what some of the hardships you're going to face as you make the shift. You have to make the shift, but it's going to change a lot of cultures.
You know, it's not any secret that the Antelope Valley has the highest mortality rate from preventable diseases in the entire county, which means probably the entire state. We are the bottom of the pit when it comes to mortality for these diseases. And it's people are dying in the dead of night. It's like we don't even know it. You know, they just disappear from our lives.
We, as I mentioned in the morning presentation, have become the fattest nation in the history of the world, and our children will not live as long as we do on average. Those are facts. We can't change those things. We might, though, change all future generations.
You know, most of our people, they live on fast food. It's just the nature of it. We have to change that because we cannot have a sick city. And that's what we have, is under the surface of this city, the people are sick. We have more people dying here in the Antelope Valley than anywhere else. To me, this is a unique opportunity. I mean, how I value existence is the impact I'm having. You know, I think that's how you value existence too.
This town invested in bicycling, in walking, and transit. They invested in density.
So one of the things we want to do with this grant is to figure out a way to fix that so that we can build these trails so we're not, people don't get killed at the same time. Because as soon as it becomes safe, I think we're going to see a lot of people doing it.
They all go together. The more dense your community, the more mix of uses your community, the more people will walk and bike. So the least important thing I'm going to share with you today is to build trails and bike lanes and sidewalks and crossings. That's the least important thing I'm going to say. If you want people to walk, if you want people to bicycle, build a town farm that will support people having destinations of places to go to.
You have more opportunities to bring money in. And second of all, Dan talks about adding value to the land use adjacent to the street when you do something like this. There's also the issue of sort of getting more property tax revenue from your property. When you improve the value of the property, more revenue comes into the cities, and you also have the opportunity, if the property owners can understand and buy into the vision of even doing things like benefit assessments to pay for the street like this, because the value should more than come back.
It's really about getting that connectivity in, providing the right design, the right density, and the right mix. And the street connectivity is a very big part of this. So that's why with the study that you're now undertaking with Ryan Snyder, and I'm delighted to be part of this team, is that you're going to do some infill. You'll make more connections between, say, some cul-de-sac streets and so on, and you'll start to get the right scale to the street. And all of a sudden, people will see a rise in the value of their properties where these things are done, and beg for these changes in the areas where it's not occurring. Because over time, there will be many studies, and people will realize the value of the actions that you're already taking in certain areas.
We only are going to have so much money in the future. We can't squander it. And again, look at every dime that goes through the city coffers on whether it's taking you toward the future or whether it's burying you in the past. And by doing that, you're going to shine. You'll be way above other communities of your size, your scale, your complexity, your region, and so on. And truly, I can't leave you with any better information than that. I'm not saying build sidewalks or trails or anything. I'm just saying spend your money where it's going to build your community. And walking will come. Bicycling will come. The economy will be more sound.
The county has stepped up in a huge way to help us because they recognize, and I think the public health folks recognize, that we are not going to fix this by chasing it. Meaning we're not going to fix this by getting another hospital or getting more doctors or doing all of the stuff that comes at the end of it. What we have to do is fix it before it happens.
And what I didn't get into this morning was really just how serious the health effect is. Children who grow up in places where they just don't have the ability to do what our children, as us, or what we did when we were children. Children on more drug prescriptions for every type you can dream up. From asthma conditions to just dealing with depression of not having enough friends or not living in the right place. But equally depressing is what this means for all of those folks when they retire. If they didn't buy a place that's livable or walkable, they're going to be isolated. And what we now know about longevity and health and happiness is people have to have good friends. They have to have good social lives. And the suburbs just don't do that. They do other things, but they don't do that.
People are going to live healthier, happier, better lives simply by making the community walkable. I mean, it's a simple thing, but it's a huge thing.
People want community. They want more time out of the car. And that means we're going to need to start building villages rather than traffic.
Cities are a place where we provide the means for people to pursue their own happiness, whatever that means to them. And the cities that recognize that that is truly their function, I think will still be around. Thank you.